The Dance of the Dragons has reached a point where there is no turning back. And House of the Dragon Season 3 Episode 2 proves that the Iron Throne is not just a seat of power. It is a throne built on sacrifice, betrayal, and blood. After the shocking death of Jacaerys Velaryon, Rhaenyra finally makes her move and takes back the city that was stolen from her. But her victory comes with a devastating price. In this episode, we see Rhaenyra transform from a grieving mother into a true queen as she faces one of the hardest decisions of her life, executing Otto Hightower with her own hands. Meanwhile, Alicent returns to the Red Keep and witnesses the consequences of her choices. Aemond takes control of Harrenhall, and Aegon struggles to survive after losing everything. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. So today, we're breaking down the ending of House of the Dragon Season 3 Episode 2, explaining what Rhaenyra's final decision means, why Otto's death changes everything, and what this means for the future of the Targaryen Civil War.
How could you do this to me?
Rhaenyra's revenge. The episode begins with the devastating reality that Jacaerys Velaryon is gone. Jace was not just Rhaenyra's son, he was also the future she imagined for the Targaryen dynasty. His death destroys the queen emotionally, especially because he died while fighting a battle she never wanted him to join. When Baela returns to Dragonstone carrying Jace's body, Rhaenyra completely breaks down. She refuses to accept what happened, then turns into anger, and finally collapses under the weight of grief. This moment is important because it shows the difference between the woman Rhaenyra was before the war and the person she is becoming. For years, she believed that if she could simply prove herself as the rightful heir, everything would fall into place. But the Dance of the Dragons has taken away pieces of her family one by one. Her crown is no longer just about power. It has become connected to every sacrifice she has made. Rhaenyra wants to disappear from the world and mourn her son, but Westeros does not allow its rulers the luxury of grief. The war continues, and Daemon returns to Dragonstone with a harsh reminder. Jace's death cannot mean nothing. Their enemies are still vulnerable, especially because Aemond and Vhagar are away from King's Landing. If Rhaenyra waits too long, that opportunity will disappear. Daemon understands something that Rhaenyra struggles with. A ruler cannot always act based on personal pain. The crown demands sacrifice, and now she has to turn her grief into action. The tragedy is that Rhaenyra is not choosing between victory and defeat anymore. She is choosing between losing everything or continuing a war that has already destroyed her family. Rhaenyra takes King's Landing after Alicent secretly helps Rhaenyra by allowing her forces access to King's Landing. The impossible finally happens. Rhaenyra enters the city that has been stolen from her and approaches the Iron Throne as the rightful queen. But even though she technically wins, the victory is far from simple. King's Landing is not just a castle to capture. It is the heart of Westeros, and controlling it means controlling the people, the nobles, and the symbol of power itself. The takeover happens faster than expected because the city has already been weakened. The absence of Aemond and Vhagar leaves the Greens vulnerable, and the City Watch, many of whom still remember their loyalty to Daemon, helps Rhaenyra secure the Red Keep. However, one major problem remains. Rhaenyra cannot simply sit on the Iron Throne while Aegon is still alive somewhere. As long as her half-brother exists, there will always be a challenge to her rule. The people need to see that the old king is gone and the new queen has taken control. But Aegon has escaped. This creates a dangerous situation. Rhaenyra has won the city, but she has not completely won the war. The person who caused this entire conflict is still out there, and his survival gives the Greens hope. This is where Otto Hightower becomes important.
I did my best.
What happened to Otto Hightower? When Daemon discovers that Otto Hightower is still inside the Red Keep, he realizes exactly what this means. Larys Strong secretly kept Otto imprisoned, knowing that if Rhaenyra took King's Landing, Otto could become a valuable bargaining piece. Daemon brings Otto before Rhaenyra and places a sword in her hand. He tells her that this is the moment she truly becomes queen. This is one of the most powerful moments of the episode because Rhaenyra is not just killing an enemy, she is killing a man who was once part of her childhood. Otto was her father's hand. He was someone who spent years around her family. Their relationship was complicated, but he was still connected to the life she had before everything fell apart. Rhaenyra has always been surrounded by death, but she has rarely been the person directly responsible for it. This moment forces her to cross a line. Daemon understands that ruling Westeros requires more than having a claim. It requires fear, respect, and the willingness to destroy anyone who threatens that claim. For years, many people questioned whether Rhaenyra had the strength to rule. They saw her as a princess fighting for a title rather than a queen fighting for a kingdom. By executing Otto herself, she sends a message. She is not just the daughter of Viserys anymore. She is not just the mother of Jace or the woman who was denied her throne. She is the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, and anyone who stands against her will pay the price. Still, the scene is heartbreaking because Rhaenyra does not enjoy it. She hesitates. She cries. She knows exactly what she is doing and understands the consequences. When the sword finally falls, she is not celebrating. She is mourning the person she has been forced to become. After Otto's death, Rhaenyra finally sits on the Iron Throne. But instead of feeling like a victory, it feels like a reminder of everything she has lost.
Plead with me.
Alicent and Rhaenyra's broken friendship. The emotional impact becomes even stronger when Alicent and Helaena return to the throne room. For years, Alicent and Rhaenyra were two people who loved each other but were destroyed by politics, misunderstandings, and ambition. Their friendship was one of the most tragic parts of the entire story because neither woman originally wanted this war. Alicent sees her father's dead body lying before her while Rhaenyra sits on the throne. It is one of the cruelest images possible for her. She knows she played a role in helping Rhaenyra enter King's Landing, but she never expected Otto to still be there. This creates a painful situation for both women. Alicent kept her side of the deal. She opened the gates and helped Rhaenyra take back her throne. In exchange, Rhaenyra promised that Alicent and Helaena would be allowed to leave safely. But now everything has changed. Rhaenyra cannot publicly allow the mother and wife of her enemy to simply walk away. The people of Westeros would see that as weakness. The same people who already questioned her legitimacy would believe she was too merciful. At the same time, Rhaenyra still sees Alicent as the person she once loved like a sister. Looking at her now, standing beside Otto's corpse, reminds her of the old life they lost. The tragedy is that even after everything, neither woman truly wants to destroy the other. They are trapped by the roles they have been forced into. Aemond takes Harrenhall. While Rhaenyra is taking King's Landing, Aemond Targaryen is making his own move. Before the Battle of the Gullet, Rhaenyra knew Aemond would likely head toward Harrenhall. The plan was to trap him there using Daemon, their forces, and the Dragon Seeds who could help fight Vhagar. But Jace's death changed everything. The Battle of the Gullet completely disrupted Rhaenyra's strategy. Daemon was not in position, the Dragon Seeds were not ready, and Harrenhal was left vulnerable. Aemond arrives and takes the castle almost without resistance. He kills Sir Simon Strong and the people protecting Harrenhal, proving once again how dangerous he has become. But his victory is not perfect. During the attack, he is badly injured, and the last time we see him, he is crawling toward Alice Rivers asking for help. This is important because Harrenhal is not just another castle. It is one of the most mysterious and dangerous places in Westeros. Aemond may have conquered it, but he has stepped into a place filled with secrets, magic, and unpredictable forces. His future there may be much more complicated than he expects. Aegon and Larys Strong's escape. Meanwhile, Aegon and Larys Strong continue their struggle to survive. Larys secretly removed Aegon from King's Landing because he knew the king was in danger. Rhaenyra wanted justice, but Aemond also had reasons to eliminate his own brother. With both sides against him, Aegon needed to disappear. Their journey becomes even more difficult when their escape goes wrong. They are attacked, forcing Larys to reveal Aegon's identity to save them. Eventually, they escape, but they are still far from safe. Larys wants Aegon to go somewhere secure, but Aegon refuses. Instead, he wants to find Criston Cole and reunite with his army at Rook's Rest. This decision shows that even after everything, Aegon still believes he can reclaim his throne. The problem is that he is no longer the powerful king sitting in the Red Keep. He is a wounded survivor trying to rebuild a broken side of a war.
Not yet. Bring Aegon!
What happens next for Rhaenyra? By the end of the episode, Rhaenyra has achieved the dream she spent her entire life chasing. She has the Iron Throne. She has King's Landing. She has proven that she can defeat her enemies. But the hardest part is just beginning. Being queen is much harder than becoming queen. The city is damaged. The people are suffering. The war has destroyed trust across the realm. Many nobles still support Aegon, and as long as he remains alive, Rhaenyra's rule will never feel completely secure. She also has to decide what happens with Alicent and Helaena. Mercy could make her look weak, but cruelty could destroy the last connection she has to the person she used to be. Rhaenyra wanted the throne because she believed it was her father's final wish and her birthright. Now she has it, but she must face the reality of ruling a kingdom that has already been torn apart. House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 2 proves that winning a war does not mean finding peace. Sometimes, the moment you finally get get what you wanted is the moment you realize how much it cost you. And for Rhaenyra Targaryen, the Iron Throne may have finally become hers, but keeping it will be the most dangerous battle of her life. Our nerdy thoughts. And that brings us to the end of House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 2. Rhaenyra may have finally claimed the Iron Throne, but as we saw in this episode, winning the crown is only the beginning. The real challenge is keeping it while the entire kingdom continues to fall apart around her. Jace's death has changed Rhaenyra forever. Otto's execution has created an even deeper divide between her and Alicent. And with Aegon still alive and Aemond growing stronger, the war is far from over. The question now is, can Rhaenyra actually rule the Seven Kingdoms, or will the Iron Throne destroy her just like it destroyed everyone who fought for it before? Let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for more House of the Dragon Explained videos.
I think I might like to keep chickens.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.